Hi everyone, my name is Anne, and today I'll be presenting on the muted group theory in relation to childhood trauma. So what is the muted group theory? It argues that the English language is based in a man-made origin, which thus favors male domination in society and marginalizes and silences the voices of minority groups within that same society. And this theory focuses on the experiences of women in regards to this. So marginalized groups will have trouble freely expressing their experiences and their ideas freely as a result of this domination. So the goal of this theory is to dismantle this toxic ideology, and it does this by breaking down the language surrounding these societal expectations and creates liberating language for minority groups and seeks to validate their feelings. So background in the theory, it was introduced by Karis Kramaray, and it is an intercultural and it is within the intercultural communication context, and it is a critical and phenomenological theoretical tradition. I think a quote from our textbook highlights this theory in a very good manner. So I'll read that. It says that Griffin says that women's words are discounted in our society, women's thoughts are devalued. When women try to overcome this inequality, the masculine control of communication places them at a tremendous disadvantage. So here's some key concepts of the theory. The first is algorithmic oppression. So this is based in the idea that biases are found in social media and mass media context, which favor dominant groups, because a lot of producers and people higher up are men, and thus digital technology that they run enables this muting of marginalized groups if it doesn't benefit them monetarily, or promotes the domination of their group. Thus, they use muting strategies to keep this power dynamic in place. They accomplish this through intimidation, shame, and discreditation. Another key concept of muted group theory is the comparison of female expression versus male expression, or what is called male stream expression, because men are the gatekeepers of media, and thus they also have difficulty understanding the opposite gender, because in comparison, women have difficulty expressing themselves in this public space that is dominated by men. And we come to the conclusion that there is no such thing as neutral language. Language is not gender neutral because it was created by predominantly men. So here's some effects of muting. The two main ones are alienation and silence. So alienation involves women not being able to express their experience in a male-dominated language, and thus they internalize this male-dominated reality, and as a result feel very isolated because of it. The other effect is silence, and this is a result of the alienation, and it's because women have they default to not speaking about their experience at all because of this perpetuated societal power dynamic. So, so for my research, I focused on childhood trauma, the context within muted group theory. So childhood trauma shares this these same effects of muting, and effects are multiplied for women survivors of childhood trauma, as one can only imagine. Some women never experience freedom of voice as they're accustomed to muting. So some outcomes of childhood trauma study within muted group theory is the same thing, alienation and silence, because as children grow up and um, as they are introduced to trauma, they adopt these same effects. And these effects last into adult life. Children become accustomed to silence and not having a voice. And then a lot of women unfortunately accept abusive relationships as they grow up. Because being a woman combined with muted group theory, it multiplies these effects just tremendously. So a quick critique of this theory, it's based on the assumption that men are constantly trying to control, which is an important assumption that makes this theory plausible. Another assumption is that it is limited to experiences of the generalized majority, and it is improved by considering experiences of minority women who experience even more muting for their identity than the general woman. And here are some conditions for improvement using the muted group theory. It helps us understand muted groups, helps us validate their experience, identifies power dynamics, and seeks to decrease power of dominant groups through the education of this communication theory. Thank you.